Hey! Hey, I know it's been like 6 months since I made a video about Hunt, but I got you this pack of Newports. I know you like Newports, so, alright, forget the persona. Let's talk. Yeah, I'd like to formally apologize for any and all of my videos I released in the past that have a 5-minute to 8-minute long intro or disclaimer. That shit's fucking annoying, and I'm sorry. But for anybody new to the channel, hi, I am Horse. I've released a variety of videos on a variety of things, some bad, some awful, some worse than either of those, and some of these videos I thought might even be good. I don't know where this one falls on the list, but I wanted to make another Hunt video. Where have I been this whole time? I've been busy, I've been sad, and I have been in a rut. Brain no worky. It's really hard to motivate me to do free labor on these videos when I just can't put my heart into it. But I saw that the Hunt creator space wasn't doing so hot, and a lot of people were leaving and skedaddling out as soon as possible, so I figured I'll take a look and see what I could do for fun, and that's how I wound up on this iceberg. There's like 4 or 5 random Hunt icebergs online that you could find yourself, and I think a lot of them truly suck. Not going to fault the people that made the icebergs, it's just the format kind of sucks. So what I did was I took the best entries I could find from those icebergs, I combined them, I reworded them to make them sound better, and then I added them to my iceberg and added a ton of my own entries onto it to make it more hefty and more fun. So if you come to a random entry that you're like, why the hell is he talking about this? This is pretty lame. It's probably a leftover entry from a different iceberg, but bear with me. And I'm not going to patronize you, by the way, and treat you like a child. You know what an iceberg is. There's like 300,000 of them on YouTube. You know what an iceberg is. Mine works the same way as the fucking rest of them do. The top is the least obscure, the bottom is the most obscure. It's easy. You know what it is. Oh yeah, and then the reason it's going to be 2 parts, you know, eventually the second part will come out, is only because I realized I've been working on this for like 4 months, and if I don't just release something, I'll never have anything out. And I still can't find an iceberg for Hunt online, like on YouTube right now, so if I don't do this as soon as possible, I'm going to lose my opportunity. Plus, my iceberg's better. I don't know. So, it's going to be 2 parts. Only because if I didn't give you 1 part now, you weren't going to get anything. Ever. And you still might not get the second part, if I'm being completely honest. I might leave and go find another pack of Newports for you in 40 years. I also want to say, and this is very important, this is part of the reason why this was exhausting and took forever. I just really want to tell you, I tried to verify every single thing in this iceberg myself. Getting the footage myself. I didn't want to have to borrow anybody else's footage. That didn't happen, okay? Listen, Hunt is a PvP game. If you're out looking around for the sisters from The Shining inside of a wall, people aren't going to let you just walk up by yourself and get that footage. You need to go there, hands out, invoip, and beg, and they will shoot you on sight. So I lost like 67 hunters trying to get the footage for all these different things, but in the end, I hope it's a good video. If there's any creators whom I borrowed footage from, I am crediting them on the screen specifically. That includes pictures, videos, whatever other information I may have. Anything else was created by me for this video or otherwise. All the music used in this video is from Port Sulphur Band themselves. Love those guys. There's even an entry for them in the iceberg. Oh, and this is important. In the bottom left of your screen, pay attention. pay attention, gamers, at the bottom left of your screen. On the different clips, I'm going to have either long ammo, medium ammo, or compact ammo as an icon in the bottom left to indicate whether I'm very knowledgeable on the topic and have a full understanding of what's going on. With long ammo, medium, meaning that I have some understanding of what's going on. Maybe I don't have a full grasp on the topic. When I Google it, there might not be fully conducive information, very conclusive. If it's compact ammo, that means I'm grasping at straws, possibly making an educated guess. I'll explain. But if it's compact ammo, I really can't figure out what the entry's talking about, or I can't find it online. So, use those 3 different ammo codes to understand my full knowledge and breadth of the topic that I'm discussing, and remember that this was just for fun. So if you're not having fun, let me know, and why. And at the end of the day, gamers, if you enjoy this footage, if you enjoy this video, the best way to get more of my content is to tell me what you're liking. Go to the comments, say hi, subscribe, join the Discord, say hello to me. The only way to get me to feel like people are depending on me and motivate me to do work when I have no reason to do it other than my own personal motivations is to tell me. Let me know you like my videos. Tell me you want more. It's the only way to get more. You could turn this from a 6-month hiatus from part 1 to part 2 into a 6-day hiatus. Who knows? Oh yeah, as for that, one more thing. Audio is sporadically bad and good. I've been using a variety of microphones at a variety of times, filming all of this and working on this iceberg over the course of the last 4 months. So some information may be outdated, but the point being, the audio may differ from time to time. Now, I did try to re-record the old stuff that sounded like complete donkey, but there's still a couple parts that aren't super great. In general, it should be fine, though. If any of you have a microphone you personally recommend, recommend me one. I've tried like 4 of them, and I'm still upset with how my audio sounds. The Shure mic here, forget this thing. This thing sucks. Don't buy a Shure mic. Fucking $200 for what? For what? I guess it's long enough, guys. I hope that the new ports I brought you were of high enough quality for the long hiatus that I took from videos. And at the end of the day, I hope you are all well. To all the hunt creators I reached out to in order to collaborate on this iceberg and then respond, I hope you're well, gamers. And I hope that you are at least happy in life and never talk to me again. I'm kidding. I get it. People are busy. It's life. I'm a little manic right now, but I really hope you all are well. This is off script, by the way. I decided that scripts are pointless and useless. They aren't conducive with great content all the time, so. Oh, wow. It's 5 minutes. Wow. Just like my other intros. Enjoy the video, please. And at the end of the day, stay blessed. I love that out of all the possible priorities the Crytek could have had with developing Hunt Showdown, that they found the time to make a faithful model of Shrek's house in the game. It is stupidly easy to find, but there's a good chance that you aren't a member of the Hunt Showdown subreddit, and by just playing the game on your own terms, you aren't actually aware of this entry. In the far southwest corner of the DeSalle map, there's a faithful rendition of Shrek's house hidden for your viewing, complete with a unique miniature horse model found nowhere else in all of Hunt Showdown to represent Donkey. This is so weirdly obscure to the general public of Hunt players because, honestly, the game doesn't reward exploration of random compounds in these thickly wooden areas on the border of the map. Your bounty isn't there, players aren't there, so why check it out? There's very little to find besides your occasional cash register or toolbox, so you've got no reason to explore all the way to the bottom left corner of the DeSalle map. But if you did it, for some inexplicable reason, you could have dropped your jaw to the floor, basking in the glory that is Shrek's house in Hunt Showdown. If this entry caught you off guard, you've got no idea what other shenanigans Crytek has hidden in the cracks and crevices of every single map in the game. There's a set list of compounds shown on the screen here that are large enough to allow for 2 clues to spawn there. These are a little gift from the gods that be, saving you a trip to a whole other compound and getting you to your bounty faster. Relish these when you find them, and be aware that if the map grays out on your compound after you grab the first one, the second clue will disappear. So hope and pray. Unlike the illustrious Shrek's house, this is both an obvious to understand Easter egg when you find it and an easy one to run across by happy little accident. The amount of people that know about Zombie Bob Ross and his exploits is immeasurable. Now, I would love to show you exactly where Zombie Bob Ross is, but he actually moves, and periodically throughout different patches in the year, Crytek will move him from place to place, so he's always a surprise. Over the years, Crytek has slowly added more details to his paintings as well, as it started as a blank white slate in the beta, and according to the internet, you can also find his now finished painting hanging in the Arden Parish boss lair. If you manage to run across Zombie Bob Ross during one of your missions, a lot of players have made to throwing him a dynamite or throwing him a sticky nade, anything they've got on them as a bit of an offering to really give credence to the man that brought a lot of color to our lives. According to hunters much better than myself, if you use a silenced weapon to shoot the hounds, it won't actually aggro the rest of the pack. I tried this myself, and here is the result. Armored dog in the head for a one-shot kill that shouldn't aggro the other hound, right? Okay, I know I didn't one-shot it, but this thing is still aggro to me. Like, watch. Ew. Yeah, so, I don't think the silencer actually works like that, but... Those who never touch their frame rate settings would have let this one slip right under their nose, but if you head to settings and click on the graphics menu, click the frame limit drop down, and BAM! You'll see the option for the uncapped frame rate is over 9,000 frames. A classic Dragon Ball Z reference. Yes, contrary to popular belief, you can toggle the fire mode on certain weapons, drilling being the most obvious example, right? Simply press X by default to turn your double-barrel penny shot into a slug shotgun and watch your MMR shoot straight up. Or you could take an aperture sight and press X to toggle it on or off. The amount of newer players I've spoken with personally that aren't aware there's alternative fire mode on some weapons is actually surprisingly large, so I was willing to keep this entry in the iceberg for that reason. There is one here. There it is.
Anybody got explosives?
No, but I'm coming with an axe. This is something commonly lost on new players who will unleash fresh hell on Butcher upon meeting his gaze. immediately burning half their ammo reserves and alerting the whole county 3 compounds over. It's a very common strategy for hunt veterans to forego using the weapons they brought on any bounty target, instead opting to find a common wood-cutting axe or pitchfork off a world spawn and using these to beat the crap out of their bounty targets. The only bounty that will give you some trouble with this is Scrap Peak, as he actually collects all the items in the area and hoards them, meaning you'll have had to have brought your own axe from a different area to have one to beat the shit out of him with. This entry probably refers to the axe specifically because it is generally considered to be the best all-rounder melee weapon for killing bounties. It is no surprise that Lightfoot is a very slept-on trait by new players. It is a common misconception in shooting games that traits or perks in other games offer no value if they do not directly improve your combat capabilities. But with how stupidly important both movement and stealth is to the combat of Hunt Showdown in comparison to other games, Lightfoot is a quality trait that one could easily desire on every maxed out hunter they ever build. If you want a more in-depth covering of how I feel about Lightfoot and other traits, head to my Hunt Showdown traits tier list for 2023, link in the description, where a majority of my opinions should still be correct, save for the traits that have been nerfed or condensed or completely reworked since then. This one requires very little explanation, save for the few awesome people who don't play Hunt but still manage to find this video. Hunt Showdown is an extraction shooter that heavily, and I mean heavily, incentivizes utilizing stealth 90% of the time. The quiet hunter gets the kill after all. And running is a surefire way to not only alert fellow hunters to your presence, but every grunt, hive, hound, leech, or act of god in your vicinity too. If you aren't being immediately shot at, or are sprinting in the long-ass no man's land between compounds, you're probably not going to want to be running anytime soon. I mean, yeah, it's common practice to loot as much as possible, as comfortably as possible before leaving from your mission, and you can hold up to 4 total consumables from toolboxes, looting dead hunters, so loot away, I guess. Am I missing something here? Port Sulphur Band is a fictitious band built up of individual developers within Crytek that produces music for Hunt Showdown now. Over the years, the music has become so popular that Crytek has released 2 different vinyl albums that both sold out rapidly. They're even working on live performances now, which is insane to me. Port Sulphur Band has only produced insane quality music that I listen to on my own time, and even have downloaded on my Spotify, which you can view them on as well. If you haven't given them a try, look them up on YouTube. There's no official channel, but you can find their music everywhere under the Port Sulphur Band topic. I personally recommend Miner's Lament, my favorite track of theirs. You can even find a picture of Port Sulphur Band hanging in a saloon in the Lost Delta map. This entry refers to a common phenomenon that anybody who has played a shooting game is acutely aware of. It's this insane, crazy occurrence that shudders a man to his core. Let me set the scene. You're creeping, quiet as a mouse, a snake, approaching your prey. You haven't made a single sound in 5 minutes as you slowly, agonizingly crawl towards the bounty target. You've got your Lamat carbine in hand as you gather your resolve until suddenly, BAM! You're fucking dead. Crows are flying, teammates shouting. There's even a grunt hitting the gritty in the distance behind you. In your confusion and anger, you shout in discord. How did they know where I was? I could not find anything online when I googled Hunt Showdown lantern flips. Save for some dudes who managed to land a lantern pointing straight up on Butcher's severed head. Cool, I guess. If I was gonna make an educated guess, maybe it's referring to how satisfying the lantern flip animations are when you throw one. Or maybe it's a joke about the whole bottle flipping thing. I have no idea. Ever since Devil's Moon exactly 1 year ago, Crytek has been adding special event packs that one could join to temporarily receive different bonuses for the duration of the event. Things such as resistance to fire damage, being invisible to basic mobs, or even the ability to cheat death have been among all of these. But for those who have stuck around for every event, you probably remember how infamously lackluster the Infernal Pack's first couple iterations were. I've got a whole video breaking down the impact of packs if you're interested in detail, link in the description. While it's much better these days in terms of power distribution between the different packs, one only needs to glance at the offerings in Devil's Moon to immediately understand why Infernal was universally the least picked trait. Hell, we're comparing resistance to burning out when downed to complete immunity to losing your hunter when you die and lose a match. The power comparison was ludicrous, and to this day, people can tell you how infrequent it was to see anything other than Grounded packed exclusively at the time. On the Hunt Showdown subreddit, there's about 3,500 posts all talking about the same thing. The fact that we can't easily deal with crows or ducks. Well, according to this gentleman on Reddit, there is now a way to do this. You can simply, with some practice, it's very difficult, I failed it 3 times, blow them up with a decoy fuse. It's quieter than setting off the ducks and having them go into the sky, and your enemies won't be able to see the ducks or crows either, because they'll be dead. It is no secret that a majority of players in Hunt Showdown get into the game originally because of their friends, and they play exclusively duos or trios anytime they load up the game. Yet, these players will forever wonder if solos are as sweaty as they've experienced in other titles, especially Battle Royale titles such as Apex or Fortnite. Well, from my own experience in solos, I wouldn't really say so. It really depends on your MMR, and in my experiences, 4-star and 5-star duos are more sweaty than anything else I've played, trios, solos, and even quick play included. If you haven't played after December 13th, 2023, this one's gonna catch you off guard. And don't worry, the official Hunt Showdown wiki hasn't updated the trait list either to reflect this. Your favorite mid traits like your marksman scopesmiths and iron sharpshooters and the like have been completely reworked and condensed into a series of much better traits. Even Dewclaw was removed and added to 100 hands. Between Scopesmith, Iron Eye, Steady Aim, 100 Hands, and Assailant, you can rest assured that you're going to have significantly more room available in your trait loadout. Honestly, very classy move from Crytek and a phenomenal QOL, even if it immediately invalidated my 2023 traits tier list. Thanks. Yes, meatheads can uncommonly drop a trait when you obliterate them. The method of killing them, be it sticky nade, a bomb lands, or these days straight up teleporting inside their asshole like your fucking Ant-Man climbing at Thanos for the one-hit kill, does not matter. The chance is pretty low to drop a trait, and you could go 10 meatheads until you encounter your first drop. Even if it is a garbage trait like 100 Hands without a bow, those 10 meatheads you massacred beforehand will make the final drop feel all the sweeter. However, I will say that during our current event, I've consistently had a trait drop nearly every 3 meatheads or so, which is ridiculously higher of a chance than I remember, but it could just be me. Let me know in the comments below if you've had a similar experience with a much higher drop rate for traits off of meatheads. Hunt Showdown has a rich and deep lore that is very carefully given to the player in little drops here and there. Whether it be a poster you can find in-game, visual storytelling on the map, or even lore found out of game, like in a YouTube video. If you really want to break it down to a broad concept or a meme, you could say that the lore is just cowboys versus zombies. I would say it's more cowboys versus monsters these days, as we've got mutants, abominations, actual demons, and even hell magic in the game. But there's zombies too, yeah, and cowboys to fight them. This does mark the end of our first layer of our obvious entries, meaning we are now going to level 2, where we're going to get somewhat obscure. More Easter eggs, more deep cuts. It's only going to get deeper from here. The rule of 2 was an incredibly unnecessary mechanic that nearly every veteran Hunt player will know by name. This was very recently changed in our newest event that we're in right now. Basically, the rule of 2 refers to things such as world drop traits, or cash registers, and more. All of these things used to be 2 uses, meaning that if you were in a trio, which is again the most popular game mode in Hunt Showdown, you would actually have a third member unable to loot the thing that you're looting, leaving them in the dust. Now, I do want to specify that looting players, ammo, and toolboxes are still 2 uses, unless you have Vulture for players. But now all these other items are 3 uses, your traits, your cash registers, so every member of your party can go ahead and grab that bullet grubber you got off sticky bombing a meathead, and you'll all be happy. Admittedly, I couldn't find anything very specific about this entry, but I believe this is referring to, due to the chaos of quick play, people playing in-game noises such as dynamite fuses through their mics to abuse VoIP and confuse people in the chaos of quick play, or going or something other than that. I have no idea what this is actually referring to. I'm giving this compact ammo. This entry sucks. Choke bombing the butcher will actually extinguish the flames on his hook, leading to a much easier kill in the long run because he won't light the entire fucking building on fire. I tried to get footage of this and I couldn't manage to do it, so here's a guy on YouTube with credit. Did you notice how this event Death Cheat isn't available as the capstone of any pact? Well, I did too. Crytek figured that instead of having some overpowered traits tied to different packs and trying to create more powerful and insane traits in the future to compete every single event, like they've been doing for the last year, they figured they'd just remove things like Death Cheat and Shadow, problematic traits that were very hard to balance, and add them as rare world spawns. Honestly, a fantastic change, and feels like something I would have eventually come up with in one of my Let's Fix It videos if I was smarter. Eventually. Now, don't forget that the trait pool is a bit diluted on your world drops. It could be pretty much any trait from what I'm aware, so you're not going to get Death Cheat every time, or possibly ever, but look out for these. They're a nice little treat when you find them. I'm not going to dig up this controversial ass argument. Greater men than me have discussed this topic before, and more effectively, but if you want to hear me talk about it for some reason, I have a video discussing Reshade in greater detail on my channel, link below. But here's a Cliff's Notes. Basically, Reshade is a program generally designed to make your game look better. The problem was it also did a shit ton of other things too. Things like editing your brightness so that flashbangs were useless against you. Things like effectively nullifying the vision impairment effects on scopes, which is important to hunt by the way, leading to bush Wookiees with a vengeance seeing you from 100 meters away with their Springfield sharpshooter. There were a lot of things that very sweaty basement lords had access to and partook graciously in before Crytek officially banned Reshade in 2023. Now if you have Reshade installed on your PC to this day, Hunt will not launch. So good on Crytek for finally making a decision on this very controversial topic. Have you ever fought the assassin and it just turned into bugs and fucked off for a whole minute? Annoying, right? What if I told you this was the improved version of the bounty target AI? Yeah. Those who were around in the old days of Hunt will not so fondly remember the old spider AI in particular. I mean, hell, this gremlin would just skitter away and sometimes never come back down. If you check out the official Hunt Showdown pre-alpha footage from E3 on the screen, you can see some hints of this poor spider AI yourself. Sometimes the spider just runs away, and then runs away, and then runs away. This has happened to me in the game, in my experience, in the past. And it wasn't just the spider. A butcher would sometimes just yeet his fireballs anywhere at all, or never stop raging and lay fire forever, not giving you an opportunity to attack. Sometimes the assassin would never come out of bug form and make it a Herculean task to axe him in the face. Scrapbeak would just throw a concertina bomb 13 times in a row and never let up. The bounty target AI has been incredibly scuffed in the past. But Crytek have made significant improvements over the years, and I think it's in its best state for every boss that it has ever been. Even our newest edition, Raja, has some phenomenal intelligence that will actually give you ample and predictable opportunities to beat her ass, without submerging forever. A very solid series of improvements over the years, if I say so myself. So the next time the spider climbs onto the ceiling and hides for a whole minute, just remember that if you were playing a few years before, it might not have come back down. You can kill any bounty target in the game with 2 quickly placed sticky nades. Here's me trying it on Spider.
In?
Where is it? Where are you, you bitch?
Are you familiar with all these places,
God.
man?
I missed.
Yes,
I missed.
I have like almost 300
It
hours.
got time.
Oh, it bugged through the wall. It literally teleported through the wall and made my fucking sticky miss. Ooh, I'm mad.
I missed one too. She literally hit on the wall the entire time.
Guys, if I die, I'm up top.
In real life, an elephant gun is a large caliber gun, rifle or smoothbore, originally developed for use in big game hunting, of which elephants are in the namesake. At one point in history, they were black powder express rifles, of which the Nitro Express is modeled after. Now, this is a high-level strategy, but it is a very useful one that I want you to take into your next game if you weren't aware of it. Anytime you find a dead body in Hunt, take a look at where the feet are pointing. It will actually point to the direction that they got shot from. It's not pinpoint accurate, but it is very useful. Say you're in the middle of a firefight and you find a body behind a rock. If the feet are pointing to a window, then you know that they got shot from that window. Say it's pointing to a side of the building. You know they probably got shot from that side of the building. It's very useful information that you wouldn't have had otherwise, and you can verify that this is true by shooting somebody in the game, and you'll notice that their body flies directly back from the direction you shot them from, telling other people where you are. Now, it is important to note 2 things. 1, this does not work for the training dummies in the shooting range. They just immediately pop back up, and they actually have a set animation for how they fall back when you shoot them. They are on springs, after all. And 2, this does not work for explosions, because I believe the body is actually thrown back from the center of the explosion, meaning this information is useless to you, essentially, because it doesn't really tell you where the dynamite was thrown from, only where it landed. Now, I do want to preface that this is a more high level, like 4-star or higher level strategy, but it is very useful. If you head on to your settings, you'll see in your hotkeys that there's actually the ability to separate vaulting from jumping. When you do this, it'll allow you to check different levels to see if you can actually vault on it or not. Because normally in a fight, when you try to jump up and vault on something, if it's not vaultable, you will just jump in place and make a lot of noise, which can easily get you killed in a 1v1. So if you have the jump and vault keys separate, you can mash the vault key, and it'll let you know if you're able to actually jump up on a ledge, because nothing will happen. Last year, Crytek added weapon inspection animations across the board to every single weapon in the game, including tools. All you've got to do is press I and actually bask in what could be a very cool animation. The throwing knives in particular look really sick. Different bosses have different defenses and weaknesses to different types of damage, so let's rapid fire this. Butcher is immune to fire but not poison. Spider is immune to poison but not fire. Assassin is weak to poison but can also be lit on fire. Scrapbeak is weak to poison and can be lit on fire, but will become enraged when lit on fire, and this will also burn his extra loot that he normally drops. so probably don't light scrapping on fire. And good luck lighting Raj on fire through traditional means anyways, considering she's submerged in fucking water. And a poison bomb will just float if you throw it in the water at her, so just hit her in the face with an axe, and that'll get you done. A lot more subtle than Shrek's house. You may have crossed this reference without realizing what it was. If you head north of Puerto Rico on Stillwater Bayou, you'll find this neat little prison wagon with some ashes on the ground and a cowboy hat. It's a reference to this scene in the frankly awesome film Django Unchained, where the director Quentin Tarantino blows himself up. Now this entry could be referring to the official Hunt Showdown Discord, where people discuss everything from strategy, speculation, how good Port Sulphur Band's music is, or even share funny clips. Or this entry could be referring to the official Clinical Gang Discord, baby. Come join us through the link in the description below and come speak to me at length, where you can call me horrible things and tell me how wrong I was in my For Fun Iceberg video. This will cause debate in the comments. I truly did not think this was going to be such a rabbit hole when I researched it initially. Do me a favor, head to Google and type in Hunt Showdown Left Side Peak. You're going to see hundreds of posts discussing whether or not this supposed left side peak exploit actually exists. People saying for fact that it happened to them, or that they do it themselves. Others arguing that they haven't experienced this peak in 2,000 hours. The fight goes on. What do I think? Well, I could say for a fact that Peeker's Advantage does exist in nearly every multiplayer shooter that has ever existed. Do I think that the left side peak in Hunt Showdown offers a particular advantage over the right side peak? Nah. This is something I run into every single time I have a new friend buying Hunt Showdown and trying it for the first time. They'll run their first few games and they'll have such surprising successes that it shocks them. And then they'll message me, "Hey Horse, are these bots in my games?" Nope. There are no official bots in Hunt Showdown. Not now, not ever. Your first 30 or so games are going to have some of the newest of the new players available, and you'll be placed in the hidden 1-star MMR that is reserved for brand new players. So when someone walks across a compound staring at the sky without a care in the world, they're not a bot, they're just a very new player, so please don't be toxic and VoIP. We need these people to stay and play the game and enjoy it, and if the first thing they experience in some of their games is somebody teabagging them, dunking on them in the voice chat, it's not going to go over well and they might refund it. And another thing, bear in mind, rarely, and I mean rarely, some of these players could have some serious lag, and there's a reason for this. If you're queuing on a brand new account and the game cannot quickly find other brand new players to queue you with, they'll actually search outside of your region. Expanding this search causes players that are way too far away from you to get pulled into your region on your server and have some of the worst ping imaginable. And these people will be blinking back and forth, very obviously lagging, and they'll also probably be staring at the sky wondering, what the fuck is going on? So, whether they be lagging or they be brand new players, there are no bots in Hunt Showdown, and you should not be expecting it. Apparently, it is a highly debated topic on whether or not you could jump over sticks in Hunt Showdown or whether they will still break. Newsflash, yeah, they'll still fucking break. And also, who cares? Jumping makes a lot of noise anyway, so what does it matter? And also, why is this topic so fucking highly debated? And even furthermore, on top of all of these questions, why are you not subscribed? Okay, now this is an entry that will be better explained by somebody with more qualifications, who is smarter, but I will try. So, have you ever had a firefight where you swear you heard your gunshot go off, you even saw blood splatter out of the enemy, but you still die on your side and you do no damage? Well, you are not crazy and you're probably not lagging. Unlike most modern shooters where the server is live reading every action that happens constantly in the game, whether you jump, whether you shoot, whether you melee, Hunt Showdown is client side. Now, again, I'm not one of those smart types, so I'm going to simplify this for both of our sakes. If I get this wrong, let me know in the comments, please. It's really hard to get a straight answer on this subject because when you Google it, people with bad aim are just bitching on Reddit about this and I can't really get a good answer. Basically, on a game where the hit reg is server side, unlike Hunt, the server between both players automatically registers the hit for both players at the same time, as your information is sent from both clients on your end and your opposing hunter's end into the server in the middle, where it is processed simultaneously. A much more demanding hit reg that the CryEngine does not support. Now in Hunt, the hit reg is client side, meaning that when you shoot somebody on your client, the information of that shot is sent to the server from your client. The server processes your half of the info, and then it sends this data to your opponent's client to verify that they got hit from their side of the client. Then the information goes back from their side into the middle, where it's finally processed for the last time and the hit registers. This is where the fucky-wuckies happen, where sometimes you can literally see the blood come out of your opponent, but the information from your client just didn't match theirs, so the shot wasn't registered and they took no damage. I also want to quickly note that I'm making this seem like a slow and laborious process, but even with the client-side hit reg, going back and forth, this is still happening in literal fractions of a second, way beyond what our brain can process. Now, there's 100 other factors that go into this whole thing, including connections, both good and poor, and my explanation is probably kind of wrong and a pretty poor explanation in the long run, but hey, I tried and, yeah, everything you do in Hunt Showdown is in fact client-side. So if you've got a poor connection, sometimes you can literally dodge bullets like Neo. Okay, so Bambies are actually a term that veteran Hunt users will often use to refer to brand new players, people who seem pretty bad at the game, people who are 1-star, 2-star, etc. It's unfortunately become a bit of a derogatory term in some spaces, used as more of an insult than anything else, but I still find it kind of endearing, and I look at it in a whole different light, I guess. I hate to end this whole part 1 on a bit of a sour note like this, but, you know, it wasn't even supposed to be 2 parts. Life just kind of happens, you know what I mean? And then we end up here. Like 6 months without a good video. Yeah, gamers, I really hate to end the part 1 of my illustrious ultimate iceberg on something as anticlimactic as Bambies, but I find that this video, much like life, is just what you get. But, not to end on too sour of a note, if you want to see part 2, gamers, I need you to go to the comments below and motivate this ADHD-riddled, depressed brain into wanting to do manual free labor on the computer so that you can get part 2 of the video out as soon as possible. That new job I'm starting on Monday, I am somewhat excited for it, but it is going to be just work. At least for now. I hope that I have fun and I enjoy it, but we'll see. I'm a little worried with me and my carpal tunnel fingies trying to perform at a computer desk for hours on end every day, but hey, isn't that a little bit of what I did here? So, whether it's in 6 months or 6 days that I see you again, my friends, at the very least, I hope all of you are so well, and I hope you all are happy, and I really hope that no matter where life takes any one of you, that you are loved, you are happy, and you are prosperous. Stay blessed, my friends. Until next time, this is Horse, signing off. I hope they like it.
Okay. I'm so glad there's a choke bomb here because I threw both my explosives into it. I'm mad.
You traded.
On the bright side, I used my resources. I got somebody with that. We need to talk about Doctor. I don't think we need to talk about Doctor. It's right at the top. It is almost everybody's first pick.
Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Hello everybody. No